You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we talk about the importance of World Diabetes Day and how it impacts the 4 states.
Also, how rescue dogs are saving the lives of veterans.
And while your morning drive looks pretty good so far, we do have some changes to the forecast, making your afternoon drive something you'll need to be cautious with. We'll have the latest on your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Today is World Diabetes Day, and KOAM's Yana Dula talked with Diabetes Education Clinic at the Freeman Hospital in Joplin. She joins us now live in studio. Thanks for being here this morning, Yana.
Thank you, Tanya. There are 2 types of diabetes. Type 1 is a genetic condition that you are born with. Type 2 diabetes develops over time and is often lifestyle related. While there is no cure for type 1 diabetes, type 2 can be prevented and treated. Susan Pittman, a program coordinator for Diabetes Education Clinic at Freeman, says in Southwest Missouri, number of diabetes cases is 6% higher than the rest of the state. She says type 2 diabetes can be prevented and possibly treated by making simple, healthier life choices. Cutting carbohydrates down is one of the preventive ways, but exercise comes along as well.
When we're exercising, we're burning more fuel. When we use our muscles, they use a lot of glucose. And so the body just becomes more efficient at the regulation of blood sugar when we exercise.
Pittman says sometimes people don't realize they have diabetes and may live with it for a while before getting a diagnosis. She encourages people to access healthcare for screenings, especially if they have family history.
Well, Yana, what are some of the symptoms that would indicate that you have diabetes too?
Well, you may need to urinate more often, like very often, and then you also may feel just tired. And sometimes people just think these are like normal things, but it is very serious. It can be very serious. So Pittman told me like people should go for screenings and check for themselves, just in case.
Well, today is World Diabetes Day, so it'd be a perfect day to call and make that appointment. All right, thank you so much, Yana. Well, Pitt State professors Norman Phillip and Randy Windsor are bringing their Adventures in Robotics class to Columbus using AIR curriculum based on NASA objectives.
Well, my uncle, which is now my brother, I saw him doing some Legos and that really got me into it. And then ever since I've been building Legos, I just really liked it. So I saw this and my mom told me, hey Daniel, come look at this. And I see that, I'm like, yes, I want to go. Like, I love building stuff and I love technology.
The class included an introduction to the Lego Spike robotics system, basics of scratch coding in Spike, and a training module on building a basic robot and making it move, and a stop in time challenge. Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, you've heard the old saying, a penny for your thoughts. Well, on this past Veterans Day, a man from Marionville had some thoughts about honoring those who gave their lives for our country. Joe Hickman explains the reason he's using thousands of pennies.
While the rest of the world was going on with its daily activities, Larry Ludwig was at the Missouri Veterans Cemetery in South Springfield, finishing up a labor of love that started 4 days ago. As every single headstone you see here, over 6,000 in all, has a penny on it, put there by Larry.
What I've done is taken it upon myself to see that every headstone out here in this cemetery is visited by at least one person. I've been out here since Tuesday putting a penny on the headstone, and then when I do so, I render a salute.
Placing coins on grave sites dates back to ancient Greece and became popular in the U.S. during the Vietnam War. A penny means that someone has visited the grave to pay respect. A nickel means they went to boot camp with a deceased soldier, while a dime means they served together, and a quarter means they were present when the military member passed away. And Larry, a 20-year veteran of the Army and Navy who also serves as a chaplain at VFW Post 676, said placing pennies was the best way to honor his fellow vets.
Ever since the Korean conflict and in Vietnam, a lot of the veterans feel that they've been forgotten. These folks out here are not forgotten. This is my first time, and I'm 83 years old. I doubt if I'll do it again, because after a while it gets your arms, it gets you between the shoulder blades, and a little bit of twist that you're not used to.
But Larry wasn't the only one out here giving back. A group of 15 students from the Springfield Public Schools BASE program that teaches job and life skills came out to help clean up and beautify the cemetery.
We always like to give back to our community, so cleaning up was what we felt like was right.
Pretty cold, but honorable to come out here and make it look nice. They basically just risk their lives to save us.
Here, have a good one. Okay.
You too. Really want.
Be good. Enjoy life.
Larry was certainly appreciative of the group's gesture as the different generations showed their love and respect in a society where too often that's in short supply.
There was a lot of them that said you're a hero, and I'm not. Our heroes are buried here.
All right, time to look at this day in weather history. And on this day, back in 1970, 75 people, including the Marshall University football team, died when a Southern Airways DC-9 crashed in rain and fog near Huntington, Virginia. We don't have any rain or fog at this moment, but as you can see, some snow flurries trying to get going across parts of southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma this morning. We're watching a bigger system out to our west. As you can see with it, there's a lot more widespread snow, but the good news is we're not expecting heavy snow in our area, but we do have some winter weather advisories for our northwestern counties that run until 10 o'clock tonight. Let's take a quick look at the future track. So we're going to warm up. We're going to see the few snow flurries roll through the area, and then we're going to see a wintry mix later. And even though we're going to be in the 40s, the reason there's a wintry mix, or what I believe will be one, is temperatures aloft are very cold. So it'll be snow, and it'll melt as it falls, and I think not all of it will melt, and we'll see a bit of a wintry mix, even though temperatures are going to be in the 40s. Now, as temperatures drop tonight, we'll see a bit more snow across the area, and maybe a little bit of a wintry mix as well. But the good news is we're only expecting maybe a dusting of accumulation on grassy surfaces, but we could see slick spots on the roads. So do be careful if you're driving this afternoon, this evening, and into tomorrow morning. We're cold in Joplin right now. 32 feels like 25 degrees. Temperatures are chilly across the entire area. 36 Chanute, 35 Parsons, 31 Lamar, 30 in Carthage. You factor in the wind, feels like 30 Chanute and Parsons, 22 in Lamar, and feels like 23 in Carthage. And even though it's cold, we're upwards of about 15 to even 20 degrees warmer than where we have been. Now today, we will eventually reach a high of 44 degrees with that wintry mix. Some early morning flurries tomorrow, 42, and then we remain below normal for the next several days with another wintry mix possible by this Saturday, and overnight lows back into the 20s.
All right, well, up next, we meet a Vietnam veteran who had a life-changing surgery.
And later, how a POW bracelet connected a news editor to an American hero. You're watching KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
In Health Watch this morning, he survived being wounded in Vietnam and helped honor fallen soldiers by founding the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. But today, this veteran is also celebrating life. Mandy Gaither has more on his nearly 15-year-long battle with a heart infection and the surgery around Veterans Day that he says brought him back to life.
In 1968, Jan Scruggs was sworn into the Army and later sent to Vietnam, where he was wounded.
I saw some really terrible things. 12 of my friends were killed in a period of maybe a minute and a half.
Now he's getting ready to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Vietnam Memorial, a wall he founded. But this Veterans Day, he's thankful for something else, too.
And we will also celebrate the 5th anniversary of a guy named Jan Scruggs.
In 2008, Scruggs was diagnosed with endocarditis, a life-threatening inflammation of the lining of heart valves and chambers. He had surgery and 2 years later went under the knife again to replace a heart valve. Over the next decade, Scruggs says he was in and out of the hospital for heart infections.
The doctors at the local hospital felt that they should just withdraw my life support and let me die.
Scruggs sought a second opinion around Veterans Day 2019.
He was expecting basically to be in palliative care, hospice, and die.
Shortly after that, a complex open heart surgery was performed on Scruggs at Cleveland Clinic. 2 heart valves were replaced, a 3rd valve repaired, blocked blood vessels were bypassed, and a procedure was done to help an irregular heart rhythm.
This was his 3rd open heart surgery. And imagine one in a lifetime is enough.
Now I'm healthy.
And that's something to celebrate.
Scruggs' doctor says when it comes to healthcare, it's always important to get a second opinion.
We've got some light snow flurries trying to develop across parts of the area. We'll take a complete look at your forecast when we come back. Well, Veterans Day was Friday, and we honor those who put their lives on the line for this country. Now a personal tale from the Fox family. One of their own connected with a former prisoner of war from the Vietnam era. Jennifer Griffin has the story.
As war raged in Vietnam, a quiet effort started by 2 sorority sisters to show support for the POW and MIAs who were shot down in rice paddy fields took off across America. Students began wearing bracelets with the name of an American POW and the date they were shot down. Fox News editor Brad Paxton was one of those kids who sent his $2.50 away to purchase a bracelet.
This is actually a photo of me wearing the bracelet. I had lots of hair back then, but...
His bracelet honored Navy Lieutenant Dave Carey, shot down in North Vietnam on August 31st, 1967.
I'd say 50% of my junior high school was wearing the bracelet. This was a way to show support. You didn't have to be for the war or against the war.
Spurred by a conversation with his wife about the bracelets and how they united the country during a divisive war, he decided to try to find Lieutenant Dave Carey. He found him in Texas, 80 years old. Carey spent 5.5 years in the Hanoi Hilton.
I sent him an email, and he emailed me right back and said, I would love to have it.
I've been getting those periodically for all these years. I tell them that they have no idea how much those bracelets meant to us when we were in Hanoi. As a kind of lifted our morale.
Carey, who retired as a captain, can still recall the day he was shot down.
The missile went right between us. There was a huge explosion. Fireball blew the tail section off my airplane. When I ejected from the airplane, had a parachute, landed in the middle of a small North Vietnamese village.
He still remembers the beatings.
My arms didn't work for weeks and weeks. I ate by wiggling around in my stomach, stick my face in a bowl of rice.
Meanwhile, the woman who started the bracelet movement, Carol Bates Brown, was a student at Cal State Northridge.
Somebody came up with the idea of putting names on the bracelets, and when it really took off like it did, it was just shocking and unbelievable. I think we distributed something like 5 million bracelets.
The little airplane had 1 seat.
55 years later, one of those pilots finally met the student who wore a bracelet with his name on it, lifting their spirits when they were POWs.
We kept our sense of humor, and we kept the faith. Faith in ourselves, faith in each other, faith in our country, and faith in God.
He's a genuine American hero, and I'm just humbled to have had a small footnote in his story.
In Washington, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Well, Skywatch Storm Tracker showing what is trying to be some light snow across the area, most of it not actually even coming to the ground, but you can see it spread out across southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. Our bigger system to the west, a lot more snow out across western Kansas, panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and even some winter storm warnings down in central Oklahoma, but nothing like that for us. However, we do have these winter weather advisories for our extreme northwestern counties until 10 o'clock tonight. Now, as we go through the day, we'll see a few snow showers, maybe some rain showers in the morning. We get a break, and then by this afternoon, it really starts to overspread the area with a nice wintry mix going on. And the only reason it's a wintry mix is, as we've been discussing, is even though we're in the 40s, rain at the surface is what the future track would pick up, but the air aloft is cold enough that it's snow falling and melting, and so not all of it may melt, and that's why we may get a wintry mix this afternoon. As temperatures drop, though, we can see we're looking to see a bit more widespread snow, and we're only talking about maybe a dusting of accumulation on grassy surfaces, and of course some slick spots on the road, so do be cautious about that. 7th range line, we're getting cloudy, 32 degrees, feels like 25 in Joplin. It is a bit chilly across the area, 32 in Yates Center, in Iola, 30 Fort Scott, 31 Nevada. Factoring in the wind, feels like 29 in Yates Center, 27 Iola, 26 Fort Scott. Feels a little chillier, 23 in Nevada. And despite how cold it is, we're upwards of 10 to 15 degrees warmer now than what we were 24 hours ago. We're looking for a high of 44 degrees with the wintry mix building in this afternoon. We get a break and then maybe some light flurries early tomorrow morning as we drop back down to a low of 34 degrees. And as we look at the 7-day, 42 tomorrow, only 35 on Wednesday, staying below normal for the majority of the week. We get to Saturday, another wintry mix possible. And then we warm up a bit, 48 by next Sunday, and mostly cloudy skies. And this is our warmest night for a while as overnight lows the rest of the week are down into the 20s. We'll be right back after this, but first, a live look at downtown Joplin.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Albert McManus. Lamar, Missouri native, served from 1944 to 1946. To Albert McManus, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
Well, there's an interesting story we've got now about pets for some vets in terms of service and how it is assisting these veterans. And that story is coming up right now.
She's been my lifesaver.
Service comes in a variety of forms. Jeff Thomas's service began in Germany as an Air Force sergeant during the Cold War, a veteran who has struggled with PTSD.
I didn't sleep at night. It was horrible. And so I, took it upon myself to say, hey, look, I need some help.
That help came with 4 legs, a big heart, and an appetite.
Good girl. Ready?
Maddie is a certified service canine who also knows a few tricks.
Stay. Okay. Oh, good girl.
She's part of the Pets and Vets program at the Animal Rescue Foundation in Walnut Creek.
This is Boston. He's one of our newest recruits.
Turning rescue animals into trained service dogs for dozens of veterans at no cost to them.
They've given so much to us. We wanted to give a little something back to them.
Trainers teach skills to help the dogs assist with veterans' specific psychological needs.
We say that the Pets and Vets program is saving both ends of the leash. It's helping the rescue dogs and the veterans, and we need volunteers to help be a part of that.
Foster families take on dogs like Boston for a few weeks to make sure they're up for the task. If they are, it's time for training. They're paired with a veteran just like a battle buddy.
I'm not sure I'd even be here if I didn't have her.
Thomas says Maddie has reduced his anxiety and improved his sleep.
I don't have to worry about getting up and checking the windows and checking outside because she does that.
Pets and Vets has also given him a new community, fellow veterans with their service dogs, each of them with their constant companion by their sides.
I told my wife one day, I told her, I said, well, if it's between you and Maddie, I said, pack your stuff.
All kidding aside, Thomas says he's seen life-changing results. Dozens of veterans with traumatic brain injuries, severe depression, and PTSD all now have a hero.
She's saved my life, and to me, that's what heroes do.
Certainly an incredible story, and it's incredible what you can train dogs to do these days. And like they said, they're saving on both ends of the leash. They're making that difference for the rescue dogs and for the veterans.
That's nice. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we got some snow possibilities today, more so a wintry mix than anything else. As you can see, some snow showers trying to show up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but when I stepped outside earlier, there's nothing actually hitting the ground right now. But our next system out to the west, as you can see, western Kansas, panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas getting a fair amount of snow, even some winter storm warnings in west central Oklahoma. We're not quite to that point here, but our northwestern counties, far ones, do have a winter weather advisory until 10 o'clock tonight. All right, future track. Could see a few snow showers, maybe some rain showers as we head through the morning. As we go through the day, even though we're going to be at the 40s at the surface, it's going to be cold enough upstairs that we're going to get a rain-snow mix as it falls to the ground throughout the afternoon. And as we head into the evening and the temperatures drop, we're going to see it transition mostly to a snow event. We're only expecting about a dusting on grassy surfaces, no major snow here, but it could lead to some slick spots on the roadways as you head into the afternoon, overnight, and early tomorrow morning. So do be aware of that. Right now in Joplin, not bad, but cold, 32, 25 is what it feels like right now. Cold across the region as well, 32 Yates Center, 36 Chanute, 35 Parsons, and 31 Neosho. Neosho. With the wind factored in, feels like 38 Center and Chanute, feels like 28 in Parsons, and feels like 25 down in Neosho. And despite how cold it is, we're about 10 to 15 degrees warmer now than what we were 24 hours ago. So we go through the rest of the day, wintry mix likely throughout the afternoon. Again, no major accumulations from the snow side, but could be slick. 44 for the high. Going into tonight, we get a break, and we might have some light snow flurries to start the day early tomorrow morning as the system exits. 34 for the low. We're going to make it up to 42 tomorrow, 35 on Wednesday. We stay below normal for the rest of the week. Snow showers and a wintry mix possible on Saturday, and then a bit warmer Sunday, 48. And tonight, our warmest night of the week as we drop back into the 20s for the next several days. We'll be back with more after this, but first, here's a live look at downtown Joplin.
4 States' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. A well-known brick and mortar store opens in Pittsburgh and benefits the community on day one. Sunday marked the grand opening of the Marshall's department store in Pittsburgh at 2905 North Broadway. Marshall's replaces the former Goodies location next to Home Depot. And not only was there a ceremonial ribbon cutting, but Marshall's donated a check for $10,000 to the Safe House Crisis Center, a domestic and sexual violence shelter in the area. This opening makes Marshall stores in all 4 states across the region. Well, today is World Diabetes Day. KOAM's Yana Dula talked with the Diabetes Education Clinic at Freeman Hospital in Joplin. She joins us now live from the studio.
Thanks, Tanya. There are 2 types of diabetes. Type 1 is a genetic condition that you are born with. Type 2 diabetes develops over time and is often lifestyle related. While there is no cure for type 1 diabetes, type 2 can be prevented and treated. I sat down with Susan Pittman, a program coordinator for Diabetes Education Clinic at Freeman. She says there is a high prevalence of diabetes in Southwest Missouri. Type 2 diabetes is a growing problem in Southwest Missouri, with the number of cases 6% higher than the rest of the state. But with the right choices, that number can change.
Studies have shown that if we're watching our diet with moderate carbohydrates and exercising, we may reduce our risk of developing diabetes.
Susan Pittman works with individuals once they've been diagnosed with diabetes. She says a major problem is that some people think it's okay to skip meals. A common misconception.
If they eat, they will gain weight. And that's really not the case. Our bodies need that fuel, and the body does so much better when we give the fuel to it consistently through the day.
Pittman says when people don't eat, their body starts to use glucose from their liver, which leads to the liver releasing too much. But when people eat regularly and exercise, it is efficient.
When we use our muscles, they use a lot of glucose. And so the body just becomes more efficient at the regulation of blood sugar when we exercise.
Some common symptoms of diabetes are being extra thirsty, tired, needing to urinate often, or blurry vision. Diabetes is often called the silent killer because sometimes it takes years to discover you have it.
Sometimes people really don't have any of those symptoms that we're talking about, or they perceive them to be something else, like I'm feeling more tired, and that's just because I'm busier.
Pittman recommends regular doctor visits, and if you are diagnosed with type 2, simple life changes can make a big difference.
Maybe someone's been drinking sweet tea or regular pop, and they find out their blood sugar is high, and they're able to eliminate those extra carbohydrates from their diet. Their blood sugar may come down to a really good level without medication.
Small changes that can be huge when it comes to prevention. Pittman encourages people to access healthcare for screenings, especially if they have family history. She also cheers people to think about making small healthy changes to diet and exercise a few days a week.
All right, thanks, Yana. And I know you said it was sometimes the silent killer, but if there are symptoms, what would those be?
Those could be urinating more often, like very often, and just feel tired, dizzy, just feel kind of like not your normal self. So she encourages people to go and check themselves just in case, because sometimes people don't realize they may have it.
All right, thank you so much, Yana. Well, this morning we're discussing the importance of the arts.
Now, the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex in Joplin is holding a grand opening after years of development. Mercy, Connect Culture, and other sponsors are proud to support a project that will help the community.
Community of Joplin has been awaiting the opening of the Cornell Complex. The complex will share art and expression with the community with performances, but there's also a possibility for the complex to become a local economic pillar in the community. Throughout the day on Saturday, local artists, musicians, and dancers performed on the Cornell stage for the first time.
And that brings us to our question, how important are the arts to you? Are they very important, somewhat important, not very important, or maybe something else? And so far, 26% of you say they're very important, and 56% of you say they're not important.
It's shifted from the morning. That's
It has.
Sure.
It certainly has. Well, make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course, take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Something else we're discussing right now is the fact that I didn't advance this to the right spot. There we go. As you can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we're looking at what looks like a fair amount of snow across the region, but in all reality, none of this is actually hitting the ground right now. It's just that's how cold it is in the air, but no snow falling at this time. Big set of snow out in western Kansas, panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, with our system coming in later this afternoon. In our extreme northwestern counties, there's a winter weather advisory. It runs until 10 o'clock tonight. We're not expecting the same significant snow they're going to see to our southwest, but we could get a dusting on some grassy surfaces out there, and of course, might lead to some slick spots on the roadways. As we go through the afternoon, future track shows rain because it's warm at the surface, but cold air aloft means it'll be snow falling and melting as it comes down, which means we could see a wintry mix, even though temperatures are going to be in the 40s. And as we progress through the afternoon and into the evening, as temperatures begin to fall, that's when we start to see this transition over to a mainly snow event. But again, no major accumulations are expected. And this will hold on through the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning, and we may even see a stray flurry or two by sunrise tomorrow. So, 7-day forecast, 44 today, 42 tomorrow with the morning flurries, 35 on Wednesday, cold Thursday and Friday still, another wintry mix possible Saturday. We warm up a bit Sunday. Overnight lows remain cold as well into the 20s, but I did want to show you this. This is why we skipped ahead a bit, because look at this. As we head into next week, we start to return to the temperatures we're supposed to be at, and I want to remind you that some of these highs are what our lows are supposed to be this time of year. That's how cold it is. So we'll start to return to normal next week, maybe even a rain shower or two possible next Wednesday. And of course, as the daytime hours warm up, so do the overnights a little bit. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News after this, but first, here's a live look at downtown Joplin.
Welcome back. We've got McKenna Pulsifer and Natalie Murray joining us in studio this morning to tell us all about the upcoming JOMO Friendsgiving event. Welcome. Now, this is a huge event that's coming, well, hopefully it'll be a huge event coming up the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we have already over 100 people who are interested or going on Facebook. So yeah, we're really excited for the turnout.
So basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to give back to the community by providing a meal and activities for people that might not be as privileged as us, but also so that people can have family, even if they don't have family.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving is a hard time of year. You know, there's a lot of people who don't have family or extended family around, or their family doesn't accept them. And we wanted to give everyone a safe place to come and have fun. We'll have children's activities, we'll have free raffle. We've got a lot of donations from businesses already to make that happen. Everything we're getting donated goes back for free.
What time is the event and where is it going to be located?
It's 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Friday the 25th, and it will be at Unity of Joplin.
Unity of Joplin?
It's at Jackson and A Street, but we will be parking at North Middle School, and we will have shuttles provided by Southwest Missouri Boys and Girls Club.
Awesome. Now, there's a lot of organizations that are joining together to put this event on, and you guys are actually representing two of those.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break down a little bit about who you guys are with.
Okay, my group is Southwest Missouri All for Love and Love for All. We formed in 2021 after John Wallace was forced to resign from his job over at Neosho. We have since transformed into a group that focuses on support, inclusion, and access for our marginalized youth and families. And we are the organizer for this whole event. We brought all these partners together, and Natalie represents one of those partners.
Yes, so I am the board president of JOMO EQ. We are a group that wants to offer hope to LGBTQIA plus individuals through the Joplin greater area. And we have been providing support groups and just inclusivity within our own walls whenever we have meetings since 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. It's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, we just want to make sure everyone knows everyone is welcome. No one will be excluded. It's very inclusive. We want everyone to come and have a great time.
And you mentioned the Joplin Boys and Girls Club. What other organizations are joining in?
We have the Creative Learning Alliance. We have Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce, the DEI division, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Who else?
Julie, Joplin Media, the Non-Permitted Project.
Joplin Food Not Bombs.
There's a lot, so now I feel bad, like I'm going to
Joplin
leave
for
somebody
Justice.
else out. Yes, Joplin for Justice, the Boys and Girls Club, you said that. Now, obviously, we said that we get to park at the school, so Joplin schools are being very generous to us with that too.
The Alliance of Southwest Missouri.
Yes.
Oh yes, of
We
course.
forgot
That was
them.
another one.
Okay, where can we'll have a link to this, of course, on our website, KOAM Morning News, and where do people? They don't need reservations or anything. They can just show up that day.
Yes, absolutely. And we do have
a Facebook event page.
Yeah, that Facebook event page, which you can search. It's under JOMO Friendsgiving. On there, we have a wish list. If anybody or any business wants to help donate to that. And we also have just a little bit more information and some pictures of the different raffle items that we have gotten so far.
Yep, we have a lot of kids' toys that will be available for raffle. And like I said, everything is free. You come in, you get a ticket. Everybody will get a ticket. Child, adult, you'll get a ticket, and then we'll be drawing at the end. You don't have to be there. But yeah, just come and have a great time.
All right, sounds like it's going to be a real fun event. Again, 12 to 6 on November 25th at Unity of Joplin Church. And
Parking at North Middle School.
Parking at North Middle School. All right, if you can get more information on our website later this morning as soon as we post this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for coming in. We'll be right back.
All right, while the Skywatch Storm Tracker is showing some snow out there, we're really just getting some flurries in the most cases here. That's not even reaching the ground right now, but that'll change a little bit later as this system out to our west really starts to move on in. So you can see snow across the western Kansas, Panhandles, Oklahoma, and Texas. Here locally, we've got just 3 extreme northwestern counties with winter weather advisories until 10 tonight. And as we head through the morning, again, a few stray showers, and then as we get into the afternoon, that's where we see better chances of widespread rain and snow showers. And here's the deal. Future Track shows the green because at the surface it's warm enough for rain, but aloft temperatures are well below freezing. So we have snow that will fall and melt, but not all of it will melt. And that's why I'm thinking wintry mix, even though it's going to be a little bit warm down here at the surface. As we go through the evening, though, of course, temperatures drop. We get a much more widespread snow going on. But the snow accumulations today, we're looking right now at maybe a dusting on grassy surfaces, but it could lead to some slick spots on the road. So do be aware of that. 32 in Joplin, feels like 25 degrees right now. Temperatures across the area, 34 Neodesha, 35 in Parsons, 31 Neosho, and 29 in Monette. Factor in a light breeze, it feels like 30 Chanute, 28 in Parsons, 25 in Neosho, and it feels like 20 out in Monette. Going through the rest of today, we will warm up to a high of 44 with that wintry mix building in by this afternoon and into the evening hours. We get a break, and then as the system exits, we may get a few snow flurries early tomorrow morning as we drop back down to a low of 34 degrees. 7-day forecast. 42 tomorrow, snow flurries exit. And then tonight, by the way, our warmest night, and then we get back into the 20s overnight. Only 35 on Wednesday. We stay cold through the week. Another wintry mix possible by Saturday. Sunday is the start of something nice. We start to get back closer to normal. Not on Sunday itself, because we're only 48, but as we head into the next week, temperatures start to return to normal. Now, I know it seems mild for this time of year, but that's actually where we should be as we get back into the upper 50s and even lower 60s with the possibility of a rain shower or two by next Wednesday. That's it for weather. We've got more after this, but first a quick look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Only a handful of states recognize girls flag football as an official high school sport.
But in California, some young women are blitzing convention.
Danya Bacchus reports.
With drills, discipline, and drive,
Ready, go.
players at Los Angeles' Crenshaw High School are breaking barriers in California to prove they belong on the gridiron.
This is the first girls flag football team in high school, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell my kids and my grandkids that I did this.
The sport, without the same risk of concussions and serious injuries as tackle football, is growing in popularity. Nationwide, the number of girls playing flag football in high school jumped 40% in 2 years. even though just 5 states recognize it as an official high school sport. The Crenshaw Cougars are one of the 16 Southern California teams chosen to participate in the only girls' league, co-sponsored by the LA Rams and Chargers. More than 100 schools applied.
I feel like us girls are capable just like boys are. It feels really good because we don't feel left out.
The players stepped into SoFi Stadium for a reception on par with the NFL pros, getting jerseys, gear, and financial support.
But these girls can now go on the playing field and create dreams, develop pathways, the opportunities to really change the trajectory of their life.
Ready to go. Their heads are held high.
LaTanya Blair coaches the Cougars and sees a profound change in her players.
We have some of our young ladies who, faced a few challenges as far as getting to class, coming to school, but now they're on the field as a team, but they're on campus as a team.
I just want to inspire everybody around the world to do great and to work hard in anything you do, even if it's not football.
To these girls, flag football isn't just a sport, it's family, a bond giving them confidence and hope on and off the field. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, flag football is probably the only football I'd be good at playing.
You could run between their legs.
So there's some snow showers and stuff on the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning. But the good news is none of this is really hitting the ground right now. We're just going to move on over here to the weather wall and stay as far away from Tanya as humanly possible. So snow across western Kansas, panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, even some winter storm warnings down in parts of west central Oklahoma. For us, we've got 3 counties in our extreme northwestern edge under a winter weather advisory until 10 tonight. For the rest of us, though, we're going to see the showers, and we may even see some snow showers mixed in with all of this. Even though it's warm at the surface, it's cold enough above that it's falling as snow and melting, so we may get a wintry mix of some of the snow that doesn't melt. As we go through the evening, of course, temperatures drop and we start to see a little bit more snow activity for some of us and a little bit more wintry mix activity as well. We're only looking at maybe a dusting of snow on grassy surfaces. The biggest concern, honestly, is going to be some slick spots on the road this afternoon, evening, and into tomorrow morning. We are 32 in Joplin right now, feels like 25. Cold temperatures across the area, 32 Yates Center, 35 in Parsons, 30 Miami, and 31 in Neosho. You can see what it feels like with a light breeze even. 30 Yates Center, 30 Chanute, 28 Parsons. Feels like 30 in Miami and 25 in Neosho. As we go through today, a wintry mix possible as we head through the afternoon hours. Some rain showers, snow showers blended in there. A high of 44 degrees. And as we go into tonight, we could see some early morning flurries tomorrow before the system finally gets all the way out of here. We drop back down to a low of 34. We warm up to 42 tomorrow. We're only 35 on Wednesday, so still remaining below normal for the week ahead. As we head into Saturday, we're 40 with another shot of a wintry mix before we start to see a slight warm up Sunday. 48 degrees, mostly cloudy. Our warmest night tonight as overnight lows return to the 20s for the next several days. We're back with more after this, but first, here's a live look at downtown Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Democrats celebrate after incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto's projected win in Nevada over Republican challenger Adam Laxalt. It cemented Democratic control of the U.S. Senate by a narrow margin, even ahead of Georgia's December runoff between Senator Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. Votes still being counted in some districts. CBS News estimates the U.S. House leans Republican. Federal aviation officials are investigating what caused 2 vintage warplanes to collide, killing 6 people on board during an air show over Dallas. One key question is why the aircraft were seemingly sharing the same space just before they crashed on Saturday. No one on the ground was hurt. And nearly 10 years after the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre in Newtown, Connecticut, a long-awaited memorial has officially opened. The names of the 21st graders and 6 educators killed are engraved on the memorial wall.
We've got a chance of a wintry mix as we head through the afternoon with a high of 44, so we're talking rain and snow showers possible. As we head into tonight, we'll get a break and then maybe a few flurries early tomorrow morning with a low of 34. We're going to stay cold for the next several days across the area, maybe even another wintry mix by Saturday. We warm up a bit Sunday to 48 degrees and our overnight lows hanging out in the 20s.
Right, well, the National Hall of Fame announces its latest inductees.
This year, the top Light Bright and Masters of the Universe were chosen as the winners among a group of 12 finalists.
This would be the National Toy Hall of Fame, if you haven't
Yes.
figured that out. It inducts a new class of toys each year at the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. Past inductees include a wide range with everything from everyday objects like the stick and the cardboard box to technology-based items like the Nintendo Game Boy.
Now, last year, the American Girl doll, Risk, and Sand were chosen to join the ranks. I'm going to tell you right now, Sand is an excellent thing to go play in.
I had all of those toys right there.
Really?
He-Man and
I was never-
Skeletor.
I didn't get into He-Man until I was much older, and I was never cool enough for a Light Bright, so.
Okay, let me change that. I played with all those toys.
Okay.
I never actually owned my own He-Man and Skeletor, but I had some friends that had the whole castle and everything, and we would all play those.
I
all together.
gotcha.
I had like Lady Lovely Locks and
Well, of
Barbie
course.
dolls and
Of
stuff like
course.
that. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for putting up with us this morning. We'll see you back here at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.